My girlfriend Gabriella came back intoxicated from the bar, and I sat by the window, exhibiting no reaction to her return. She was startled that I had changed, no longer fussing over her with unending care, no longer giving her every desire. There was no more warm breakfast in the morning, no more late-night texts waiting for her. The lovely phrases I once murmured while pretending to be tipsy, saying I would marry her, had also evaporated. "What are you thinking?" she inquired, putting down her bag. I turned my head, the phone went dark, and on the screen showed a snapshot of my fiancée and her secretary Louise drinking the cross-cup wine together. I giggled softly. Nothing. So this is what it feels like when love is gone, if heart no longer aches. After that, I contacted my mother. Mom, I agreed to come home and take over everything. Chapter 1. What's wrong with you these days? You barely even talk. I didn't answer, only stared out the window. Forget it, she said, pulling a box out of her bag. Here, this is for you. I opened the box. A platinum cufflink glittered beneath the light. I closed the box gently and placed it back on the coffee table. Why give me this all of a sudden? Because you finally learned not to bother me lately, she added, with a smile. You don't call me nonstop when I go out anymore. That deserves a reward. I slid the box back toward her. Save it for Luis. He'll appreciate it more. Her smile froze. You what did you see? What did I see? Your cross-cup wine or that sentence? The one you love the most? Gabrielle gazed straight into her eyes. Were over. She slapped the table. How could you, just because of one snapshot out there? I let out a nasty laugh. After years of bending over backward for you, everything I received in return was betrayal. Do you recall last month when you arrived home at 3 in the morning? I inquired. I waited for you at the door for 4 hours. There you go again, she rolled her eyes. You always blow things out of proportion. I phoned you 37 times, he said calmly. And then you blocked me. Because you're too annoying, always like this. Can't I even enjoy supper with friends? So I emailed all your buddies. I even phoned the cops. And the police told me you were intoxicated at a pub. You're insane, she glared at me. I need freedom in my life, not you monitoring me. Ye I'm nuts. I nodded, insane enough to believe you actually loved me. Until that night when I saw Luce's post. They were in the bar, glasses clinking, eyes just for each other. And underneath it the words, spending the night with the one I love the most. That moment my heart shattered, but I also woke up. This partnership was a mistake from the very beginning. I rose up and proceeded toward the study. It's time to end it. You can't, she rushed after me, grabbing my arm. You promised you'd stay with me forever. I shook off her hand and closed the door. Then I dialed my mother's number. Mom, I'm ready to come back. Let's do things your way. Really, my mother's voice was full of joy. Wonderful. I'll arrange everything. You just need to come back for the marriage certificate. The Sun family's daughter has always liked you. After hanging up, I stared blankly out the window. Yes, I gave up the family's set path because of her. I'll give you the best life I once promised. I'll make you the most successful woman in this city. Now coffee shops under my name spread all around the city, yet her heart is no longer with me. From the day she recruited Louise as her secretary, everything had changed. She once said of her new secretary, he knows what I need. Unlike you who are always attempting to micromanage everything. If that's the case, why keep misleading myself any longer? Chapter 2. On the phone with Louise again, I inquired, standing at the bedroom door. Gabriella glanced at me, then resumed, giggling softly into her phone. Sorry, my boyfriend's talking to me. I'll call you back later. She hung up and stared at me anxiously. What is it? Nothing. Just letting you know I'll be sleeping in the study tonight. Suit yourselves. She shrugged and took her phone back up. I quietly strolled toward the study. Behind me, her laughing rang out once more. Ever when Louise became her secretary, I had started sleeping in different rooms. At first, she offered excuses. Later, she didn't even bother explaining. As soon as I laid down, my phone buzzed. It was a voice message from Louise. Gabriella's voice came through, gentler and more delicate than I had ever known. Baby, image us in a cabin by the sea. Such direct prodding felt stupid. I shut off my phone and closed my eyes. The ache that previously tore at my chest had faded into numbness, maybe even relief. "Are you truly quitting?" my colleague said the next morning, inspecting the envelope in my palm. "Yes, it's already decided. Because of Gabriella always being with her secretary, everyone sees it except you claiming not to." I offered a bitter smile, shook my head, and proceeded toward HR. As the elevator doors opened, he spotted Gabriella carrying 2 cups of coffee into her workplace. Through the glass door, she set food on the desk even I was never allowed to approach. Close to the desk, Luis took the food, carefully staring in my direction. He leaned into Gabriella's ear, murmured something, and she quickly pressed the control. The blinds gently closed. The HR manager finished reading my resignation letter. "According to policy, you'll need to complete 1 week of transition. No issue. I'll handle everything." At the end of the day, Luis blocked my route. "There's a great restaurant tonight. Want to join?" "What precisely are you trying to do?" I peered into his eyes. "Just an invitation. After all, we're colleagues. No need." I walked past him toward the exit. "Let him be." Gabriella's voice called from behind me. "That's just how he is, gets all sour whenever he sees us together." On the way home, I glanced through Luis's new post. In the photo, he was experimenting with a professional camera. Gabriella smiled by his side. The caption read, "Thanks to the wonderful boss for the amazing gift last year on my birthday, Gabriella. And I had battled severely over photography. Can you quit carrying that with camera around?" All the while she had yelled at me, before throwing my best lens into the sink. And now she not only purchased Luis expensive gear, but also accompanied him to take shots. So it wasn't photography she hated, it was myself. Late that night, a video call disrupted my slumber. "Augustine, we just exited the bar," Luis commented, holding up a flush. "Gabriella, she drank too much, but don't worry, I'll get her home safe." Before he could finish, Gabriella quickly lifted her head and kissed him on the cheek. "Baby," she muttered. Luis froze for a moment, then burst into a smug smile. "She's drunk. Must have confused me for you. Don't bother coming back," he said coldly. "Find a hotel." I hung up and shut off every channel of connection. Chapter 3. A harsh ring of the doorbell woke me from sleep. "Who is it?" I wiped my eyes and peered at my phone. 3:15 a.m. From outside came Gabriella's inebriated voice. "It's me, open up." I opened the door. Luis was holding up an inebriated Gabriella in the hallway. "Sorry to inconvenience you," Luis stated with false courtesy. "Gabriella drank too much, so I brought her back." "Thanks. I'll take it from here." I reached out to support Gabriella, but Luis didn't let go immediately. "Heard you weren't happy about our photo." "Doesn't matter," I said flatly. "Really?" he scoffed. "Then why did you resign?" "YC's phoning." Harry didn't answer. He leaned closer to my ear. "Why disgrace yourself? Even if you marry her, her heart will always belong to me." In the past, such provocation would have made me enraged. Now we only wanted him gone. "You should leave," I murmured, peering into his eyes. Luis shrugged. "Suit yourselves." He eventually let go of Gabriella, but before turning away, he carefully shouted out, "See you tomorrow, baby." I helped Gabriella inside. She reeked of booze, her makeup was smeared, and she could barely stand. "I want a shower," she murmured. "Can you manage it yourself?" "Of course." She limped toward the restroom. "I'm not a child." The bathroom door shut, water splashing inside. I sat on the couch, lost in thinking. After some while, the door opened. Wrapped in a towel, Gabriella stepped out. "Why are you asleep?" she asked, her voice clearer now. "Waiting for you." She bent over, staring at me. "Are you mad?" "No." "Liar." She sat down next to me, her fingers touching my cheek. "Is it because Luis brought me back?" I didn't answer. "Don't be like that." Her tone softened as she leaned closer. "He and I are merely co-workers." "Then how can you explain the marks on your neck?" She instinctively felt her neck. "What marks?" "Don't play dumb." I delivered a frigid laugh. "The whole company knows what's going on between you two." "Nonsense." She raised her voice. "You're always so paranoid." Then suddenly she switched tactics, your voice going gentle. "Augustine, let's have a baby." The words hit me like a pail of frigid water. "Are you serious?" "Of course." She grinned. "We've Been together for so long. It's time we had a child. With you and Louise flirting. I told you it's just a work relationship, she snapped, standing up angrily. Why can't you ever trust me? Just then her phone rang with a special ringtone. She swiftly picked it up. Hello, Louise. After a short call, she swiftly dressed. Louise got into a brawl in the bar. I need to go. Now, I asked with stinging sarcasm. So urgent he needs, Mesh remarked without even glancing back. Unlike you who only doubts me. The door slammed shut, leaving silence behind. I moved to the window and watched as she ran into the taxi waiting downstairs. Strangely, I felt no wrath, no sorrow, only relief. This is better, I whispered to myself. At least I don't have to keep lying to myself anymore. At dawn, my mother called. Son, her voice was full of delight. Everything's ready. Your plane ticket is scheduled for tonight. The Sun family's daughter is eager to meet you. The invitation has been sent. If you wish to bring pals to the wedding, they're all welcome. I glanced at the rising sun outside of the window and made my final decision. Got it, Mom. I'll come back tonight. Chapter 4. I pushed open the glass doors of the company foyer and immediately felt something was odd. The receptionist looked at me with sympathy and co-workers avoided my eyes. Director Augustine, you don't know yet, do you? Tony, admin assistant, stopped me, lowering his voice. Know what? President Gabriella just delivered a company-wide email. Luis has been appointed marketing director, and you've been reassigned as his assistant. I froze in place. My phone chimed with the HR notice. As I walked approaching my office, I spotted my items stacked outside in the corridor. My father's memorial portrait had been dumped carelessly on the floor, the frame already bent. I take a deep breath and pushed open the door. Luis was seated on my chair, legs crossed, laughing into the phone. Yes, that's the plan. Anyway, he doesn't have any say anymore. When he spotted me, he hung up, sporting a triumphant smile. Morning, Assistant Augustine. My things. I tried to keep my tone calm. Odo's ancient objects, he pointed to the hallway, didn't fit the new office vibe, so I had them cleared out. I walked out, bent down, and picked up my father's portrait. The glass was shattered and a large wrinkle sliced across the photo. This was my father's relic. My voice trembled. Louis strolled to the doorway, leaning against the frame. Dupes must have shattered by accident, but honestly isn't something that ancient better kept. At home, he reached out. Let me look, maybe I can fix it. Don't touch it, I barked. What's wrong? Angry, he smirked. Remember, you're my helper now. That attitude isn't very professional. Then he ripped the frame out of my hands and purposefully let it crash to the ground. Oh dear, my bad, I said with fake regret. Looking at the footprint smudge across my father's photo, I lost all control. My fist surged forward, crashing into his jaw. Louis staggered back, knocking over the chair with a loud bang. Help, he's gone wild, he shouted, grabbing his face. As expected, Gabriella ran out from the next office. What happened? She ran to Louis, who was lying on the floor, and helped him up. Louis, sorry. You okay? Augustine suddenly went wild and assaulted me. Louis pretended pitifulness. Gabriella whirled on me, her eyes burning. Are you out of your mind, attacking someone over a job change? He deliberately destroyed my father's photo, I said coldly. Louis promptly shook his head. I only knocked it over by accident. I was trying to pick it up and apologize when he slapped me. Gabriella, don't blame him. He had dead. The marketing director post was his to begin with. I shouldn't have accepted. Gabriella's rage only grew. All this over a job title? Augustine, you've truly failed me. I stared at her, suddenly finding it ludicrous. She didn't care about the truth, only about what she wanted to believe. I pulled out the resignation letter I had already composed. No need to argue. I'm leaving. Gabriella froze. You're resigning? That's right. HR is already processing it. Her expression turned from amazement to wrath. Breaking up, resigning? You think this would catch my attention? I don't need your attention. I just need to escape. I know what this is, sneered. You merely want to keep the director role. As long as you don't bring up breaking up again, the job is still yours. I shook my head and bent to pick up the broken frame. No, I've already made my decision. As I turned to go, Gabriella ran forward and grabbed my arm. Try leaving and See what happens. Chapter 5. Gabriella gripped my wrist so hard, her nails practically punctured my flesh. Her eyes burned with rage. You think this is finished? She screamed, menacing me. If you dare go away, I'll not only let Luis take over all your work, but I'll marry him immediately away so you'll regret it for the rest of your life. I didn't struggle. I merely gazed at her calmly. Threats like this once frightened me to the core. Now they only seemed funny. Are you even listening? To Mesh grew increasingly hostile at my silence. I removed a golden embossed invitation from my briefcase and offered it to her. What a coincidence. I'm getting married too. Come have a drink at my wedding. Her face froze instantly like a halted movie scene. She received the invitation, her hand trembling. What wedding? You're joking, right? I'm not joking. With who? Monica's son, daughter of the Sun Group. When did you even meet her? It was arranged by my family. My mother has always liked her. Gabriella's lips quiver, a rush of emotions flaring in her eyes. You can't just suddenly get married. She shook her head, panic in her voice. You're lying to me, aren't you? Watching her worry gave me an unusual sense of joy. For the first time in years, I held the upper hand. Smack! Her hand slapped my face, the slap searing hot. How dare you treat me like this? Yelled, her voice breaking into sobs. I caressed my hurting cheek, but my heart was peaceful. How could she be upset? Wasn't today's catastrophe all of her own doing? That smack makes us even. With that, I turned and proceeded toward the elevator without looking back. Behind me, her curses blended with Luis's attempts to comfort her. 5 years ago, when I left home, my mother's warning resonated in my ears. That woman is not a suitable match. You'll regret it. But back then, all I saw was Gabriella. For her, I was willing to give up everything. Young master, welcome home. I came back to myself as the automobile stopped at the family estate. The butler respectfully took my luggage. Where's Mom? Madam is waiting in the study. I pushed open the study door. My mother was checking documents. Seeing me, she set down her pen and stood with a smile. Finally come to your senses. You were right. I was mistaken. She nodded in delight. Go freshen up. Dinner is ready. The warm bath water relaxed my body. This was the life I should have had, it trailing constantly around Gabriella. In that tiny firm. Suddenly the bathroom door flung open. Who? I jolted upright, trying to cover myself. Monica stood in the doorway, beaming warmly. Long time no see, Augustin. How did you get in? I'm showering. Your mom sent me up. Step closer. She felt you would need some aid. I don't need. Before I could finish, a bottle of cold water poured over my head. What the heck are you doing? Revenge, she laughed. Smugly. For how you treated me back then. I was speechless. Back in college, she had confessed to me and I had rejected her in public cruelly with strong words. I was a jerk back then, I admitted. But can you at least leave so I can get dressed away? Should I? She raised an eyebrow. We're about to get married, aren't we? What? Who said that? Your mother, she chuckled. She stated you came back tonight to visit me and get ready for marriage. I froze. I didn't know it was you, so you came back planning to marry someone else? She narrowed her eyes. No, just forget it. She turned away. Get dressed. I'll wait in the living room. Half an hour later, dressed, I came downstairs. My mother and Monica were speaking in the living room. Augustin and me, mother waved. Cheerfully, come join us. I'm conversing with your future bride. I looked at Monica. You truly consented to this? Why not? She addressed my eyes evenly. Because I treated you so poorly back then. You should loathe me. I did detest you, she said. But that doesn't mean I stopped liking you. Why do you still like method inquiries? She grinned. You can think about after we're married. My mother seemed thrilled. It's settled then. The engagement ceremony will be next week. Wait, I blurted out. I haven't agreed yet. Didn't you come back for marriage? My mother asked, puzzled. Yes, but I didn't realize it was Monica. Then you should thank me, my mother interrupted. At least it's someone you know. Better than a stranger. I turned to Monica. Do you truly want to marry me? Not just to get back at me, she gazed right into my eyes. I want to marry you because I like you. Always have. Chapter 6. Have a good chat. I'll go make dinner, my mother said, giving us a meaningful glance before leaving the living room. The moment her footsteps disappeared down the corridor, Monica turned to me. her eyes gleaming with amusement. Your mom is thoughtful. She knows how to give us private space. I cleared my throat awkwardly. That's just how she is, always making decisions on her own. So Monica gazed straight into my eyes. Do you truly plan to marry me? The directness of her inquiry left me momentarily speechless. I glanced at the girl I had grown up with, wondering how to answer. What are you thinking? She poked me lightly, breaking my thoughts. Still thinking about the Womani shook my head. No liar. She put her hands on her hips, her expression going severe. I just don't get it. What's so good about Gabriella anyhow? She began cataloging Gabriella's weakness, sure. Voice oozing with jealousy. Watching her puffed up cheeks, I couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Scowled at me. Nothing. Just I think you're adorable. Her expression softened instantly. She leaned closer, whispering, So are you mine now? Her query evoked recollections of everything between us. How she had shielded me from bullying as a child. How she had chased off girls who sought to confess to me in school. How she stood by my side when my father died, helping me through the darkness. If not for Gabriella, perhaps Monica and I would have been together long ago. What are you thinking about? Her voice dragged me back to the present. I held her hand. I was thinking about our narrative. Which section? When I beat up those boys who bullied you, or when I tore up the love letter a girl handed you in the cafeteria? I shook my head with a smile. All of it. I never adequately thanked you. No need. Her gaze softened. I did all that because I liked you. Her frankness aroused something in me. I leaned closer and whispered, I think I've always liked you too, just blinded by Gabriella. Her eyes brightened up. You mean? I took a deep breath. I'm willing to marry you. With a delighted Krish flung herself into my arms, nearly knocking me over. Then she raised on tiptoe and kissed my lips. The kiss awakened the passion I had controlled for so long. I snatched her and marched toward the bedroom, forgetting totally that my mother was still in the kitchen. That night we clutched each other without restraint, not falling asleep till daybreak. By afternoon the doorbell woke me. Half asleep I struggled to open the door on my to find Gabriella standing outside. She held a tiny box, her look complicated. Your stuff. You left it at the office. I took the box and opened it. Inside was the watch she once gave me. When I left, he had purposefully left it behind. I wanted no memories of her. Our conversation was brief. She attempted to find excuses to linger, to be alone with me, but I kept my distance. Just when the silence got heavier, Monica walked out of the bedroom wearing only my shirt. Seeing this, Gabriella's face froze. She hurriedly whispered a farewell, turned around, and fled. Her departing figure appeared lonely, almost frail. Chapter 7. After locking the door, Monica's expression quickly turned serious. She plainly pointed out that Gabriella still had feelings for me that she had come to test. Whether I actually meant to be married. Men are so dense. Monica shook her head. She was plainly studying your reaction, attempting to confirm if you're genuinely going through with the wedding. Surprised, I inquired how she could be so confident. A woman's intuition, she replied with a curious smile. We can always sense another woman's thoughts, especially when she's interested in our man. She stepped closer, throwing her arms over my neck. From now on, stay away from her. Understood. He chuckled and nodded. Yes, ma'am. Satisfied, she kissed me. That's better. Now let's go tell your mom some wonderful news. What wonderful news? I asked curiously. Monica smiled mischievously and murmured in my ear, Tell her she's going to be a grandmother soon. My face reddened. That's way too fast, isn't it? What, you don't want to? She raised an eyebrow, eyes glinting with challenge. It's not that I don't want to, it's just what? Don't tell me. You're still thinking about that ex-girlfriend of yours? He took a deep breath. No. Gabriella and I are absolutely over. From now on, I'll remain far away from her and focus on developing a family with you. Her smile expressed delight. Before I could say anything, she was already on tiptoe, arms around my neck, kissing me passionately. Our bond was sealed in that moment, as if it had been destined all along. That night, as we nestled up on the couch watching a movie, my phone unexpectedly buzzed. A buddy request flashed on the screen. Who is it? Monica inquired suspiciously. I glanced at it and scowled. Luis. Gabriella's man. Grew instantly aware. What does he want from you? After a moment of uncertainty, I accepted. Almost immediately, a deluge of messages rushed in. Luce's comments were full of wrath and caution. He accused me of clinging to Gabriella, saying she had canceled an important work meeting simply to bring the watch to me. He instructed me to remember my place and stop interfering in their relationship. How ridiculous, I sneered, passing the phone to Monica. All these years, Gabriella never once put me first. After reading the message, Monica scoffed. He's jealous. Looks like Gabriella still has affection for you. I shook my head and informed her about the cold winter night last year. I had been bedridden with a severe fever, only begging Gabriella to buy me some medicine. But she stated Louise had an urgent project that needed her help and abruptly hung up. Later, I found out that the so-called urgent project was nothing but one of their private dates. I replied coldly. That woman is terrible, Monica fumed. She ignored you when you were unwell, but now she suddenly has time to give a watch. I was just about to block Luce when Monica neatly grabbed my phone away. Don't waste time on people who don't deserve your attention, she said, softly laying on my shoulder. Since it's over, don't look back anymore. I threw my arm over her shoulder, grateful for her understanding. You're right. They're not worth my time. Oh, by the way, she instantly looked up, her eyes glittering. There's a business gala tomorrow night. Will you attend with me? Curious, I inquired what kind of event it was. She explained it was her company's annual banquet, the perfect occasion to declare our relationship publicly. You want to introduce me to everyone? I questioned in surprise. Of course, she grinned. I want everyone to know that Monica is already taken. Her straightforwardness made me giggle, and I gladly agreed. She turned off the TV gleefully and drew me back into the bedroom. The next morning, I was awakened by birds chirping outside the window. Monica was still asleep, sunlight flowing through the drapes, outlining her exquisite features. What are you gazing at? She abruptly opened her eyes, catching me. At how gorgeous my future bride is, I answered honestly. She smiled, stretched lazily. What time is it? Just past 9. Oh my gosh, she jolted awake. We need to hurry. There's so much to do before the gala tonight. Before I could react, she was already tugging me into the bathroom. What occurred next threw me off. Surprise. She started unbuttoning my sleepwear, and I could only stagger back uncomfortably. What are you doing? She inquired, confused by my reaction. I think you should shower first. But she grabbed at the hem of my shirt anyhow. The fabric tore with a violent rip. We're about to get married and you're still this shy. She smiled at my ashamed expression. Our time in the bathroom went far longer than intended. It wasn't until after 11 that we were finally ready to depart. Monica had chosen a rich blue velvet dress with a daring slit that showed off her beautiful legs. Her hair was arranged in an attractive bun with loose strands falling naturally over her ears. You look stunning, I said, truly. Like a princess. Smiling, she stepped closer and adjusted my tie. There will be a lot of my colleagues and business partners tonight. I'll introduce you to them. I'm a little nervous, he admitted. I'm not great at socializing. Don't worry, she reassured me. Just stand by my side. You don't need to do anything else. Even so, a small disquiet stirred in my heart. Chapter 8. Augustine, are you listening to me? Monica's voice pulled me back from my thoughts. Suri got preoccupied, I said with an apologetic smile. Standing in the hotel elevator, I immediately discovered something she had never thought about. Earlier during the 5 years I was with Gabriella, she never once brought me to any of her social events, let alone introduce me to her friends. I had always assumed it was because she wanted to stay low profile. But suddenly I understood the truth. Maybe I just wasn't significant enough. Nervous, Monica squeezed my hand. A little, I admitted. I'm not good in these kinds of settings. Don't worry, she said with a smile as she straightened my tie. I'll be right here. The elevator doors opened to reveal a gorgeously adorned dinner hall. Monica said that this was a quarterly networking gala given by numerous large corporations on the surface, a business exchange, but in reality also a matchmaker ground for the heirs of prominent families. Monica, a woman in a Chanel suit, walked approaching us. It's been Ajasali. Monica embraced cordially, then naturally put her arm with mine. Let me introduce you, this is my hubby Augustine. I was shocked that she used the word spouse instead. A fiancé, but nonetheless offered my hand pleasantly. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. Oh my, you're finally married, Ali exclaimed. I thought you'd stay single until over the following half hour. Monica presented me to at least 20 corporate figures. Every time she called me husband without hesitation, her tone filled with genuine pride. Just as we were speaking with a senior banking executive, my eyes strayed across the crowd and froze onto all too familiar figures, Gabriella and Luis. They stood at the far end of the hall as if they had just arrived. Gabriella donned a beige evening gown, obviously dressed with extra care. I hastily diverted my gaze, but it was too late. Our eyes met across the room. For a brief time, surprise flared in hers, followed by something more difficult. What's wrong? Monica immediately picked up on my distraction. Nothing, I shook my head, then grabbed a chocolate-covered strawberry from a passing waiter's platter. Here, try this. Looks excellent. I held the fruit up to her lips. Monica looked in astonishment, then smiled sweetly as she took a bite. Really sweet, she remarked, purposefully increasing her voice. Then she picked up another strawberry and fed it to me. Here, you try. I chewed into it and nodded. Delicious. Of course it is, she teased, winking. Strawberries taste sweeter when fed by your hubby. Halfway through the event, a group of Monica's college apples came over to catch up with her. I grabbed the occasion to excuse myself, saying her I was going to the restroom. But as I went out of the washroom preparing to head back to the banquet hall, a familiar figure blocked my path. Gabriella. Can we chat? Her voice was lower than normal, bearing a note of pleading I had never heard before. There's nothing to talk about. I tried to walk past her. Please relocate. But she blocked me with her arm. Just 5 minutes. I'm begging you. I stopped, sighing. Say it quickly. Are you truly married? She peered right into my eyes. You didn't just do it to spite me, did you? That's none of your concern. Augustine, I know I'd done a lot of things wrong. That day at the company, I shouldn't have treated you like that. I let out a frigid laugh. Now you know how to apologize. Is that too late? It's not too late. She suddenly stepped forward and grabbed my arm. We can start over. I'll fire Luis. You can be in command of the corporation again. I shook her off. Gabriella, have some self-respect. I'm married now. Please respect that. Her eyes got red instantaneously. You can't have fallen for someone else this quickly. I know you still love Methan. She immediately flung herself at me, holding me tightly. The move astonished me and disgusted me. I shoved her away with force, moving back. Enough, I raised my voice. We're over. I have a new life now, a new partner. Don't interfere anymore. Her tears eventually spilled over. Augustine, I was mistaken. All these years I never truly cherished you. Only after you went did I comprehend how much you meant to me. Please give me one more chance. I vow I'll change. Once upon a time, a single tear from her could make me weep. Now it merely seemed absurd. It's a latte. Shook my head. I've already made my choice. I wish you and Louis happiness. I don't want him, she nearly screamed. I only want you. Just then a distinct voice resonated from the end of the hallway. Darling, so here you are. I turned to find Monica heading toward us, a dazzling smile on her face. She crossed the hallway, came straight up to me and tiptoed to kiss me on the cheek. I've been looking everywhere for you, she murmured purposefully loud, her gaze fixated on Gabriella. Turns out you were being held up. Pretending to only notice, Sesh pointed at my suit. Oh no, your jacket stain. She gestured at the trace of lipstick on my sleeve. And this was custom made for you. Before I could react, she had already pulled the jacket off Miss Hooder's and hurled it straight into the trash bin. No worries. I'll buy you a better one when we get home, she added soothingly. Then she turned to Gabriella, her smile triumphant. Do me a favor and cease harassing my spouse. From now on, acceptable. Gabriella's face went pale with wrath, but before she could react, Monica had already seized my arm and hurried me away. Chapter 9. I knew she still couldn't let go of you, Monica said triumphantly, her eyes glimmering with victory. Women are especially sensitive to these things. I clutched her hand tightly and grinned. You're always right. As we returned to the dinner hall, Monica abruptly halted, her eyes lighting up. She turned to me with a curious smile. I have an idea. Before I could inquire, she was already pushing me toward the main stage. She gestured to the band and the music eventually disappeared. All eyes turned toward us. Sorry to interrupt, Monica stated as she accepted the microphone from a staff member, her voice ringing clear. I'd like to take this chance to share some good news. She stared at me, her eyes full with tenderness. This is Augustine, my spouse. We just concluded our marriage registration and are formally husband and wife. I hope everyone here will bless us. The hall erupted in cheers, applause, and congratulations. Amid the happy environment, I noticed Gabriella in the corner. Her face was pale, fists clenched, eyes flaming with wrath, unwillingness, and anguish. Before the announcement ended, she raced out of the hall, leaving Luis behind staring blankly in uncertainty. An hour later, when I was conversing with many entrepreneurs, Luis appeared before Mirage, written all over his face. Can I have a word? He said, pushing down his wrath. I excused myself nicely and accompanied him to a quieter spot. What did you say to Gabriella? He demanded, his voice low and nasty. I didn't say anything, I replied calmly. I just asked her to respect my decision. Lies, he nearly gritted his teeth. Why else would she depart so soon? You must have provoked her. Looking at this man still in the dark, I felt a flash of pity. Do you truly want to know what happened? Eddie asked. Of course, I said no more, merely contacted the hotel's head of security. On the monitor, the film played clearly. Gabriella holding me in the corridor. Her confession, her embrace, every word she spoke. I was incorrect. These 5 years I never fully cherished. You give me another opportunity, I swear I'll change. I don't want him. I just want you. Each syllable fell like a hammer striking Luis's heart. His look moved from fury to disbelief and finally to abject despair. Why, he mumbled. Why is it you suddenly? He grabbed my collar. What's so special about Yoi? Is she still enamored with you? I didn't resist, merely gazed at him quietly. That's a question you should ask her, not me. His hold slowly relaxed and he collapsed against the wall as if all strength had gone out of him. I said nothing more, turning to leave the monitoring room and heading to the dinner hall to find Monica. On the way home, Monica's phone kept vibrating with notifications. She opened her social media and was startled to discover multiple trending hashtags, swiftly ascending the rankings. Hashtag Lynn executive breakdown at the bar. Hash business rising star confronts ex-girlfriend in public. Clicking on the video snapshot shows Gabriella Lynn shorn of her normal elegance and serenity. She sat alone in the corner of a high-end bar surrounded by empty glasses. Augustine, her voice was distorted from booze. How could you treat me this way? He loved you so much. Why can't you give me another chance? I never truly liked Luis. Navari only wanted to make you jealous. I thought no matter what I did, you would always stay by my side. We did. You simply go and get married. What's so good about that woman? The camera abruptly turned to the entrance of the pub where Luis stood, his countenance turning from incredulity to great sadness. He strode forward, Gabriella, his voice trembling. Is what you just stated true? Gabriella glanced up at him, not panicked at all. Instead, she gave a drunken smile. Of course it's true. Why, you don't believe meth? And what about our engagement? Luis's voice was almost begging. Gabriella took another huge sip of alcohol. Engagement that was solely for Augustine to see. I wanted to make him envious. I wanted him to come back and beg me. Luis's eyes became crimson. Then what am I to you? Gabriella offered him a chilly gaze, her tone oozing with inebriated disgust. You're nothing. With that, she got to her feet, threw Luis aside, and stumbled out of the bar, leaving him standing transfixed in place as if hit by lightning. After shutting the DVD, Monica and I sat in silence for a bit. It's unbelievable, Monica finally said. How could she disrespect someone who actually loved her the way he didn't answer? I merely clutched Monica's hand tighter. Once I too had been the fool who was manipulated, but now I had finally discovered someone truly worthy of my affection. Thank you, I whispered. Thank you for showing me what real love is. Monica leaned against my shoulder and muttered softly, don't thank me, because I've also found the happiness I was yearning for. Chapter 10. The speed at which the video circulated was well beyond what I had envisioned. I had thought this matter would gradually die off with time, but things developed in an unforeseen manner. In less than an hour, a new wave of revelations about Gabriella erupted on social media. #Gabriella. Bullying roommate during college. #Gabriella single quotes as affair with a married executive. Most startling of all, someone anonymously posted a medical report clearly indicating Gabriella's name and the diagnosis: early pregnancy. Although the account was anonymous based from the content, it wasn't difficult to determine that this information most likely came from Luis. Clearly, he had chosen the most drastic approach to react against Gabriella's betrayal. Did you see the newest developments? Monica sat on the sofa, her fingers running swiftly across her phone screen. I nodded. I did. Luis is determined to destroy her entirely. Isn't she going to come out and explain herself? Monica frowned. If all of this is true, how could she possibly explain? For the entire night, Gabriella's social media remained silent, but her comment sections had transformed into a war of public outrage. Overwhelming waves of insults and accusations engulfed the space. There wasn't a single voice defending her. What are you thinking about? Monica saw the shift in my expression. Nothing, I just feel like things are going a bit too far. She deserves it, Monica said viciously. This is the price of hurting others. Just while we were discussing, the doorbell suddenly rang. So late, who could it be? Monica inquired suspiciously as she walked toward the door. Through the peephole, she turned back to me in disbelief. It's Gabriella. I walked up to the door and glanced through the peephole only to discover a Gabriella who was nearly unrecognizable. Her hair was a tangled mess, her makeup was completely wrecked, and her clothes were dirty and torn. The thick stink of booze clung to her entire body. Should we open it? Monica whispered to me. I thought for a second, then nodded. Monica opened the door. Gabriella staggered in the doorway, her gaze distracted. When she saw me, a flicker of hope flared in her eyes. What are you doing? Ray asked coldly. I only wanted to see you once. Her voice was hoarse as if she had been crying for a long time. Well, now you've seen me. You can leave. Even though I had urged her to go, showed no intention of going. She took a step forward and nearly stumbled. Auguste and I have nothing left. No, her voice was filled with sadness. I wasn't surprised. Just a few hours ago, the Lynn Corporation has posted an official statement announcing the termination of Gabriella's employment, underlining that her personal actions had nothing to do with the organization. Even more unexpected was the Lynn family's brief announcement. Because of Gabriella's wrongdoing, her inheritance rights had been suspended. For a family that valued reputation above all else, this was definitely the toughest penalty. That has nothing to do with me, I said gently. Your troubles are yours to fix. At my words, her eyes suddenly faded. What about our 5 years together? She choked, tears flowing down her face. Does it mean nothing to you? I couldn't help but scoff. You want to talk about love now? Where was that when you betrayed me? No, I was wrong. Her tears spilled over. Just give me one more opportunity, please. Impossible. I shook my head forcefully. I already have a new life. Please stop disturbing me. And my wife. I'm begging you, she almost pleaded on her knees. I only have you left. Please leave. Monica went forward, her tone unyielding. Or we'll have no choice but to call the police. Gabriella gazed at Monica and at me before ultimately turning away. Her receding figure seemed achingly lonely and defeated. After closing the door, I let out a deep sigh of relief. Monica walked over and softly embraced me. It's over. Everything's behind us now. I wrapped my arms around her, the shadows in my heart gradually dissipating. When I turned toward the kitchen, I realized Monica had already cooked a sumptuous dinner. Every dish was one of my favorites, their perfume permeating the air. When did you make all this? I inquired in amazement. While you were resting this afternoon, she said with a smile. Come ahead, sample it and see if it's to your liking. I picked up a chunk of sweet and sour pork. The flavor was perfect balance between acidic and sweet with soft medium meat. It's delicious, he praised honestly. Then I'll make it for you every day, she said joyfully. So you'll always have something tasty to eat. I shook my head. How could I let you cook every day from now and leave the cooking to me? All you need to do is enjoy life. Really, her eyes gleamed with delight. Then I'll be spoiled. Of course it's true, I grinned. My cooking skills aren't bad at all. After supper, we decided to take a walk around the town to aid with digestion. As soon as we went outdoors, we heard disturbance in the distance accompanied by the sound of sirens. What happened? Monica inquired curiously. A neighbor hurried past, appearing concerned. There's been a car accident in the East District. It looks serious. Driven by instinctive interest, we followed the crowd toward the scene. Outside the east gate of the neighborhood, a luxury automobile had slammed into the roadside barrier, its front severely destroyed. Police and paramedics were active at the scene and the area had been roped off. From afar he saw medical professionals lifting a figure onto a stretcher. Even though the body was drenched in blood, I recognized the familiar dark green silk blouse and beige trousers. It was the same clothing Gabriella had been wearing earlier. It's a drunk driving accident, Amin murmured nearby. They allege her blood alcohol level was several times over the limit. My heart sunk, a complex and incomprehensible emotion welling up inside me. Let's go home, I said softly to Monica. She nodded softly, keeping my hand as we turned away from the crowd. At last everything was actually over.